So I'm going to record the last two examples and post them online so you can connect that and fill out the rest of your notes. So starting off with example number 9 is going to be a hard diamond. That hard diamond is going to start by putting the number, when you multiply the first number times the last, on top. It's going to give us -10 on top. We're going to use that middle number for the bottom, so that 3 goes down here on the bottom. For the factors of 10, they are 1 and 10, 2 and 5. 2 and 5 are 3 apart, so we'll put the 2 and 5 here. Now, since the number on top is a negative, and we have to multiply to get that negative, one of our two numbers is going to have to be a negative number. But it's got to add up to a positive number. Because of that, the bigger number would have to be the positive, the lesser number would have to be the negative. So it would have to be -2 and +5. You'd factor it into two sets of parentheses. The 2x would repeat at the front of each parentheses without the square on it. The numbers from the diamond would go at the back, so it'd be -2 and +5. You would need to try to factor out any GCFs and cancel them out. So here we can divide both these by 2. That would reduce down just to x minus 1. For the 2x plus 5, there are no GCFs, so you would just bring it down like this. Obviously, they can divide by 1, but that won't help us out any. Now that we have that, we look for our answers. The opposite of -1 is going to be +1. The opposite of +5 is going to be -5, but don't forget, if there is a number in front of your variable right here, it's going to be -5 over 2. It's always going to be the opposite of this divided by whatever's in front of the variable. Since we have two answers, we put them in our set. Actually, we put them in our set no matter what, but because we have our two answers, we would put our two answers in our set. The negative would go first, followed by the positive. Okay, for 10, we would first need to make sure that it equals 0. We don't have 0 here, so we're going to get the 3x to go to the other side. Guys, line it up underneath the like term. So it's going to be 8x squared minus 6x minus 5 equals 4. I've canceled this out. We're almost there. We got to move the 4 over, -4 minus 4. Again, lining it up under the like term. So it makes it 8x squared minus 6x minus 9 equals 0. Now that it's equal to 0, it is a hard diamond. That hard diamond would have the first number times the last on top, so that would be -72. The middle number would go on the bottom, so it would be -6. The two numbers that would multiply, let's go through the factors. 1 and 72, 2 and 36, 3 and 24, 4 and, let's see, 18, still not 6 apart. 5 doesn't go into it. 6 and 12. There we go. 6 and 12 are 12 apart. So we're going to have to have a 6. We're going to have a 12. One of them is going to have to be negative, and one of them is going to have to be positive, and we're multiplying to get a negative on top. But it needs to add up to a negative. So because it's got to add up to a negative, the bigger number would have to be a negative. So we set up our two sets of parentheses. 8x is going to go at the front of each parentheses without the square on it. You would put the numbers from the diamond at the end of that, so +6 and -12. Oh, that doesn't look like a 12. From there, we factor out GCFs. You can factor out of these a 2. It's going to leave it as 4x plus 3. Then you're going to factor out a GCF of 8 and 12. They can both divide by 4. That's going to make it 2x minus 3. Ooh, you're going to get two fractions on this one. So the opposite of +3 is going to be -3 over, and then it's going to be over whatever number's in front of here, so it's going to be over 4. For the other one, the opposite of -3 is going to be +3 over, and it's going to be over whatever number's in front of this x, so it's going to be over 2. Since you've got your two answers that you need to put in your braces, you're going to go from least to greatest. The least one is going to be the negative, so negative 3/4 and positive 3/2. Okay, guys, try out those problems. Again, we move on to a new topic. Okay, so we need to make sure in a couple of days, or in a day, so we need to make sure you get this down. Make sure if you have any questions, you ask me. And have your questions ready when you walk in tomorrow.